Welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Serpent. And you guys know I like Vechain, right? I mean, there's no secret here. Like, I'm just going to put it out there. First couple of seconds, I like Vechain. And there are so many reasons that I like Vechain. And I'm going to cover some of them today, cover off some of the news, and why. Why do I think Vechain is important to the crypto space, to the blockchain space? And especially when it comes to solving a real world problem, because a lot of, let's just say a lot of other projects out there in the world, and there are 10,000 coins at the moment out there in supply, don't really have a case study. Now, Vechain is one of the only two crypto projects that are approved by China. And that is huge, and it will play a big role. I know that we're not friends at the moment with China because obviously they're banning Bitcoin for the 10,000th time and blah, blah, blah. But being backed and China supporting it is going to be a very big deal. Now, something that I think is really important when it comes to Vechain and in general when it comes to the entire blockchain cryptocurrency space is that there is a huge focus at the moment on where to buy, where to sell, or when to buy, when to sell, but not understanding blockchain. If a friend said to you, what's blockchain? Do you know how to answer that? Do you have the answers? Because they're ultimately going to ask you that. You see, we are so early in the adoption phase of cryptocurrency that the masses and true mass adoption of cryptocurrency won't be happening until 2023. You ask 10 people anywhere, go tomorrow and ask 10 people, what is blockchain and what is cryptocurrency? About 7 of them won't even know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, I heard of it. It's a Bitcoin thing. Do you know the answer to understanding what blockchain is? And if you did, Vechain has been voted a 5-star blockchain. 5-star. Now, some of the experts out there in the field are saying, Scott Melker, for example, says that Vechain is a better bet in the cryptocurrency space. In this article, he talks about why he believes that Vechain is the one to back and will be, the one to look out for not just 2021, but for years to come. ICT Hotels have created their first platinum level certification under risk management, and that was done using Vechain. So it was powered by Vechain. Massive news to come out of that. Now, when it comes to Vechain, some analysts are saying that by 2050, Vechain will be 1,646x between now and 2050. Can you hold till 2050? Would you hold to 2050 and just look at your account and think, wow, imagine my current Vechain account times 1,646. What would that be like? So I know that on the channel I talk to you about what's happening today, tomorrow, in the next month, and the next 6 months. But this is one that you don't want to sell all of it when you are in your 200, 300, 400% profit, because over time, it will pay dividends to keep it. Now, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do want to give you the information because you may make a mistake. I mean, nobody wants to be the guy that sold Bitcoin for $100. Do you want to be that? Do you want to be one of those stories? Don't be one of those stories. Listen to the serpent. And more importantly, do your own research on even why I'm suggesting this to you. Now, you heard a couple of days ago that I said that about 305,000 kilos of plastic waste from the ocean were recovered and were verified using Vechain. I mean, huge. Mass adoption and implementation in real world scenarios is the name of the game. That's why I get excited about Vechain as a blockchain for 2021 and beyond. So my advice to you, read up on Vechain and get yourself some Vechain. Now, Uphold, another exchange, has just listed VET. Of course, we're waiting for, some big exchanges to put Vechain on. When will that happen? Nobody knows yet. No one's got a crystal ball. We're hoping sooner rather than later. Now, let's jump into Atani and let's check out what Vechain is doing over there. All right, so inside Atani, 5-minute on the daily chart at the moment, and we can see that the blue and the orange on the MACD are starting to come together. The RSI is still in the oversold, not oversold, but oversold nevertheless. And we can start to see that they're starting to come closer together, which means that an uptrend could be coming. Now, if we zoom in, and let's go, for example, 1 hour, what do we see there? What does that look like? Well, on the hourly chart, it crossed into a bullish. Now it's crossed back into a bearish. And it looks like it might come back around and come again for another bullish signal. Not quite sure yet. On the 2 hour, we're still looking bullish. on the 4-hour chart, bullish, very bullish. And of course on the daily, which we saw earlier, we are not yet bullish. So it's coming around, but this could be a fake, like we could go down a little bit before we really begin to rally up. And we got to look at signals, need to understand what is going on, what is happening, and get a really good understanding of what's going on. And that is very, very important when it comes to making charts and understanding what is going on, because what you don't want is to just make one particular assumption, or maybe just use the MACD, or maybe just use the RSI to make your assumption. So on the Bollinger Bands, we've still got a lot of room to grow, but where are we going to end up is not quite clear yet. So let's look at some charts. Let's see what they tell us. All right, so let's kick off the charts. So from my end, I think, we've been following this trend really well. I think we could potentially rally to 14, come back around to 11, and then bounce off and go into the 30s and beyond. So that could happen. We've been following this really, really well, and I think we did drop under it, but I think we're going to come back successfully above it and then continue to rally up. The other option as well is that we could just bounce around for a little bit before we begin to take off. And obviously at that 17, 18 cents, there's quite a lot of resistance. So we'd have to break that successfully and then continue to rally up. Ultimately, this is what I think is happening and what is likely to happen. So we could drop down to 10 one more time and then really push forward and aggressively move up. So expect maybe one more bounce down. But then, as we look as a long term, as what we're going, and we're going for that $1 Vechain, absolutely achievable. Absolutely achievable $1. Now again, it's not financial advisor, but getting to that $1.50 is absolutely not out of the question throughout this bull run. And I think June, July, August are going to be big months for Vechain, especially June, because there is so much news to bring to you in June when it comes to Vechain. It's going to be amazing. So whichever way we look at it, I think, a little bit of patience before we really start to take off, bounce back a little bit, and then push forward into the 36 cents and beyond. So long term, as we look towards, the next couple of, the next 12 months, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a $3.60 Vechain within 12 months from now. So May 2022, $3.60. And again, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I think there is a really, really strong case for Vechain, not just for 2021, 2022 and beyond. But I want to know in the comments what you think. Is Vechain part of your long-term hold? How long do you plan to hold it for? How many years? And if you did learn something new today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thank you all so very much for the love and passion you show the channel, and I look forward to see you on the next one.